Hey guys, so this is the first Q&A video, so thanks for all the questions that came in, some really good ones, and I'm going to answer them. Hope you're all staying safe and washing your hands with coronavirus. I'm sure it's going to go away soon, fingers crossed. Okay, so Martin asked, who would I like to do a collab with and why? There's loads of musicians I'd love to play with. Doing something with Steve Vai would be really cool, Chris Impellitteri, Joe Satriani. They're some of my guitar heroes when I was growing up, so it'd be awesome to do something with them. There's also some great composers that'd be great to work with at some point. Patrick Cassidy is one of them. He did the short opera in Hannibal, really cool. It'd be great to do something with him. Not sure what, but it'd be really cool. Who else? Maybe Hans Zimmer, some like the great soundtrack composers. It'd be really cool to do something with them. Again, not really sure what, but we'll have to see, and time will tell if any of this ever happens. Next question. Robin Schrecklinger asks, do the non-trivial zeros of the Riemann zeta function all have real part 0.5? So apparently Robin's maybe a mathematician, one of the two, and I don't know. I actually did have a master's degree in astrophysics, so I checked some of my old math textbooks and I couldn't find this function mentioned in any of them. So it must be some sort of pure maths sort of thing that doesn't have any sort of application in the real world, maybe. Don't know. Next question. Sylvie asks, at what age did I start learning guitar? How about singing? So I first started learning guitar when I was at primary school, so maybe about 10. I had a little acoustic guitar, and I had a teacher who, she came in, gave us lessons for maybe 4 or 5 weeks, and then just disappeared off the face of the earth, so the lesson stopped there. I learned what the strings were called and maybe a couple of chords, I can't remember, not very much. And then didn't do anything with guitar for a while, didn't really know what to do, just kind of banged about it every now and then. And then my parents got me lessons properly when I was 14, I think. I started taking lessons again properly when I was at secondary school. And then I started practicing my technique, learning scales, improvising, learning the modes, and all that sort of fun stuff. And it really went from there. Sylvie also asked, how about singing? The Phantom of the Opera is here, washing your hands. Maybe it should have been washing his hands, don't know. I don't really do singing. I think if I had a little bit of time in the future, I'd probably learn how to sing opera or something. That could be really fun. And then do a couple of operatic tracks or something like that. Something to put a pin in for a year or two maybe. Deborah asks, where is one place anywhere in the world you would most want to perform? What's your dream gig? That's a cool question. Let me think about that for a minute. I've never really thought about that before. I've thought about places that would be really cool to live, like different places around the Mediterranean or in America or in Southeast Asia could be a really cool place to live, but I've never really thought about a dream place to perform before. It'd probably be Wacken Open Air on the main stage, about midnight-ish. That could be really cool. Went to that festival a few times when I was younger. Actually, that is where I'd like to perform, all the big metal festivals around Europe, because I've been to a few of them. Have a great time there, even the small ones as well. It'd be great. Do a tour of metal festivals. That would be my dream gig, I think. Next question. Blashirk Ravendark asks, why are you so pretty and talented? How do you do it? Just am what I am. Next question. Al asks, did your love of playing the guitar happen before your love of rock or metal? If so, what style did you play first? Also, how old were you when you first started playing? So I answered this a little bit in a previous question. About 10 when I both first started, had lessons for a couple of weeks, and then took lessons properly when I was about 13, 14, 15, sometime around, I think it's 13 or 14, around there. Did I love playing guitar before rock and metal? Yes, I started playing guitar before discovering music properly, as it were. It was actually my first guitar teacher that introduced me to Yngwie Malmsteen and Joe Satriani. and it all kind of spiraled out of control from there. So thanks for the question now. Next question. Kelvin asks, who was your inspiration to play the music and play the guitar like you do? Cool question, thanks Kelvin. Well, my first guitar heroes when I was growing up were, well, backtrack a little bit. When I was growing up, I didn't really listen to music very much at all. It just wasn't very much part of growing up when I was a kid. So, wow, there's a whole ton of crap flying around in the background here. I do apologise. So, I used to listen to kind of like what the kids at school listened to, I hang around with. So that was kind of like dance and hip hop music, that sort of thing. And I'd listen to it on the radio, and if I'm honest, I remember at the time I didn't really enjoy it, but I also didn't really know what else there was. Then I started taking guitar lessons because guitar was cool, and my guitar teacher started introducing me to kind of rock and heavy metal guitar players, instrumental players. He introduced me to Yngwie Malmsteen, Joe Satriani and Steve Vai, and those three guys were my first kind of big guitar heroes I really looked up to and really aspired to be like and play like. I loved their records. I remember spending hours and hours desperately trying to learn Joe Satriani solos in my bedroom and just getting nowhere with it. It was a lot of fun though. And then with some friends at school and some of my social group at the time, I started discovering the enormous plethora of rock and heavy metal bands that are out there. So I had some friends who listened to rock and metal at the same time as me, and we got really into checking out new bands and discovering new bands and showing each other. So discovering the classic stuff like AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Metallica, getting really into that. I remember one of my friends one day found a band called Impellitteri, I mentioned them before, and I was actually blown away by that. Loved it. It was great stuff. And it pretty much just went from there. Next question. Casper asks, what gear did you use on the Impetuous Desire album? Let's face it, at some point a semi-nerdy tech question was likely to come up. I do like the semi-nerdy tech questions. The nerdier the better. So, guitar. There's an RG1570 for everything. In that I have DiMarzio pickups. So there's DiMarzio Gravity Storm in the neck. So you can see the Steve Vai influence there a little bit. And one of my housemates are playing shitty music in the background. What was I saying? DiMarzio Gravity Storm in the neck, Tone Zone in the bridge. I think all the lead guitar parts are played on the neck pickup, all the rhythm stuff on the bridge, and then in the single coil in the middle position on the RG, I have a DiMarzio FS1, their standard single coil pickup. And I think we used that for most of the clean guitar parts, or that in combination with one of the other pickups, so like a split setting for the clean guitar parts. The drums were all, guitar gear still. I've of course got and use Marshall JMP1 preamp, the MIDI preamp, MIDI controlled preamp, and a Marshall 5050 power amp. All the guitar was done through that, with a SM57 mic on the cabinet to mic it up. The cabinet was a Marshall 1960 A cabinet with vintage 30s in it, so we've got some great tones from that. And a single SM57 to mic it all up. That worked out really nicely actually, especially considering it was just a single microphone. Got a great sound. Reverb, delay and effects were all done on by the producer on the computer. The drums were recorded in somewhere in the UK by Jason Bold, who now plays drums in Bullets My Valentine, and I think he has a home recording studio or something like that. He just recorded everything in a day and then sent them over to me, and then we put some reverbs on that as well. But the drum tracks were great. The bass was a Fender, it was something fancy, P bass, I think it was a Fender P bass, yeah. I don't know what the pickups or whatever was in that, but it sounded good. Next question. Glenn asks, how's kicking the caffeine habit going? Getting tongue-tied here. Personally, I think a collaboration with Lee would be awesome. Who would be your ultimate artist to do one with? Kicking the kicking the caffeine habit has gone fine. Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, I'm now, what is it, March? So that's 4 months without having any caffeine. Quit in December. It's just business as usual. It's great. I wake up about 5, 6 a.m. most days, practice guitar, work on music stuff until about 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Sometimes work out, sometimes don't. Have something to eat. And getting up fine and just keeping going throughout the day is absolutely fine. I just don't need caffeine. Pretty cool. Collaboration with Lee could be awesome, maybe. Not sure. Who would be my ultimate artist to do one with? Well, I did one with Doro on Impetuous Desire, and that was really cool. Like really, really cool. That's probably one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life, I think. Loved it. Played with Steve Vai. There's a YouTube video of that on YouTube somewhere. That was also amazing. So, who next? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out soon. Dun 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 dun. Next question. Evelyn asks, if you could meet up with one musician, alive or dead, who would it be and why? Who do you listen to unwind? One musician, alive or dead? Maybe Dio. Dio was awesome. I really regret not getting the chance. Well, I had several opportunities to see him before he passed away, but didn't, because that was stupid. So yeah, it'd be great to go see Dio. If he could, I don't know, if I could take a day trip to the afterlife and back, or go see him play or something. That'd be pretty cool. And who do I listen to unwind? I don't listen to very much music to unwind. I usually watch something on Netflix or read a book, actually. Listen to music while I'm working. If I want something like rocky or metal, I'll probably listen to some of my favourite guitar players like Joe Satriani or Steve Vai. Started listening to a little bit of like instrumental classical stuff. Bit of poppy kind of stuff, so I might listen to a bit of Lana Del Rey every now and then. Some of the new retro wave stuff, that whole synth pop 80s thing that's going on at the moment. There's some really cool stuff there I like listening to as well. So yeah, big mix. And I think that's everything. Thanks for the question, guys. I hope you're all staying safe with this virus madness that's going on. And if you need some music to cheer you up in the meantime, check out the links below, down there. And I'll put some links to my album and some music you can stream on your favourite streaming sites. So stay safe, and until next time, goodbye.